If you came here today seeking a community that perfectly lives its values, my hope is that you will be disappointed soon and get to know who we really are. One of my friends used to work with a UU congregation whose membership chair said this during every new member class. It's not the usual message of evangelism, the best face forward of our people, right? But it is the truth. If you came seeking the perfect community that lives its values all the time, you will be disappointed. Each one of us is on a journey. And in that journey, we are bound to make many mistakes, to fall short of our aspirations regularly. We cannot allow the tyranny of perfectionism to have the final word. For perfectionism is a result and a symptom of white supremacy culture in our society. It would have us believe that the values we hold are to be lived into in a perfect way. And if we are not perfect, we may as well give up. A perfect ideal is a myth. And resistance to perfectionism is resistance to a worldview that holds up an unattainable ideal, thus keeping those who don't match up in a cycle of shame, blame, and fragility. Freedom from these ideals is a freedom from the deep hold of generationally imposed and self-imposed unrealistic expectations. What I love about this faith, there are many things, but the thing I'll talk about this morning, what I love about Unitarian Universalism is that our shortcomings do not get the final word. We are held in a larger love that connects us all. We are given grace by one another. We can be held accountable for our mistakes that cause harm to another, and we can rest in a larger love that will not and has never let us go. This is a faith that says love wins. This is a faith that says no matter what you have done in your life, there is always an opportunity to come back into covenant, to return to right relationship, to return again to the knowledge that there is a love holding all of us. Now, living into the belief that there is a larger love holding all of us is a tall order. It means treating others with kindness, inviting folks back into accountability when harm has been done, being honest without an urgent fearfulness that cuts to the quick, but rather an honesty that speaks our truth in ways others can hear, an honesty that is open to change when new truths are revealed. This morning's story is a reminder of the deeper values of our religion and the way it is lived out. Each kindness we speak has a ripple effect. And the inverse is also true. We are all connected, and none of us is above judgment. It seems easier to me to consider our interconnectedness when I'm thinking about the positive things that bind us together as human beings. The capacity to love, the breath we breathe, the reliance on our earth. And we are all also connected in that we have had an experience just the same as the protagonist of our story. A time when we have judged others based on appearance. A time when we have taken action to exclude. A time when we have drawn a circle amongst those we know and cast others out. Each one of us here has judged another. It's a part of being human. And facing it is painful, sometimes so painful it's easier to lie and say, I do not judge, or even, I don't see difference. But my hope is that in facing the pain we feel when we are honest about our judgments, we learn. we grow. We live deeper into our highest held aspirations. As a faith community, we aim to serve as the voice of the teacher in our story. And even though I have the microphone right now, I am certainly not the sole teacher in this community. But we are here together to build awareness of the ripple effect of our words and actions, to see our ripples for what they are. This community is here to remind us of our highest held values and to draw us back to a kindness and a service to others that is rooted in Unitarian Universalism. Often it can feel like a holy interruption, a time when realization comes cold and sudden and unexpected and in our face in a way that is shocking and surprising. And at times we serve as that constantly prodding reminder. There's more love somewhere. There's more love right here. One such tool to draw us back to who we are, to the values at the core of this place, is our mission statement. If you know it, say it with me, will you please? To nurture the spirit and serve the community. As my teaching minister and mentor, Reverend Tom Belote, reminds us, this mission statement reflects something quite important: the need for members of a congregation to be aligned in a common purpose, to be articulate about why they exist and what they are in the world to do, and to achieve clarity in this understanding. This is our deeper purpose. It is our reason for being in the world. It is why this place exists and has existed since its incorporation in 1846. The desire to nurture the spirit and serve the community has been the burning coal at the center of this congregation's life. And I love that we see this as our mission in the world and in our local community. If our core values are to nurture the spirit and to serve the community, where I think we can really focus efforts as a church in a time when church is shifting from being all things to all people, to recognizing that we are here to serve a specific purpose, where I think we can really focus efforts is on one important word in our mission statement: and. With a mission statement that has two parts, we can begin to see them as two distinct and separate parts. Are the things we are doing, that we're setting out to do, are they nurturing the spirit, or are they serving the community? Perhaps we have a program that's set to nurture the spirit, say a class or a group or even a worship service. Perhaps we have social justice efforts that are specifically focused on serving the community. But as we dream and look into the future, the sweet spot of all of this is with the word "and." Does it nurture the spirit and serve the community? If our justice work seeks to serve the community, how does it also nurture the spirit? If our worship services seek to nurture the spirit, how might they also serve the community? There is a creative opportunity here, a place to really play around, a time to really pause and consider, what are we doing to embrace both? Because at the end of the day, our nurturing the spirit and serving the community is all in service of saving lives. Lives of those who are seeking deeper spiritual meaning and a life of purpose. Lives of those who have struggled some days to find the will to live. Lives of young people seeking to explore and go deeper theologically. Lives of elders coming to terms with what it means to grow older. Lives of people of all stages and ages of life who are looking to live their deepest values, to create the ripples in the world they want to see. This faith saves lives. This church saves lives. I've seen it, I've heard it, and I think that you know it too. And this is not some otherworldly salvation taking place in another time and place. This is a life-saving and a life-giving community in the here and now. I just want you to take a moment to consider how many stories Some of you may have heard over and over this year from folks who come through these doors in difficult times of their lives with questions of, what do I make of this? Or even, how do I live with this? And sometimes the question, do I want to keep on living with this? To nurture the Spirit and serve the community means we are here for these questions. It means we care for one another as we struggle. It means we remain open to whomever from our community comes here, and however we can go out into the community to let folks know we have a life-saving congregation and a life-saving faith right here in the heart of downtown Rochester that is looking to embrace you. You who are struggling. You who have been struggling. You who were robbed of your church community because of the way that you need to live is out of alignment with the tradition you grew up in. You who have an addiction and you cannot shake it. You who cannot fathom a community and or a God whose central force is love in the world. You who have contemplated suicide at one time or many times over the course of your life. You who have learned to hate and watch your relationships fall apart. You who have lived under huge expectations of yourself that can never be fully met. You who struggle with inviting compassion and kindness into every day, even though you want to so badly. To nurture the Spirit and serve the community calls upon this church to do some deep soul searching and seeking around who we are in this place and in this time. Honoring where we have come from, shaped by our roots and responding to the present time. And we must release that which seeks only to nurture the Spirit or serve the community. And I'm not getting down on being nurtured or learning to live lives of spiritual death. I'm also not against serving the community. I'm just saying there's a reason the mission of this place has the word "and" at its center, rather than the word "or." Last week, as some of you know, I was away on a pulpit swap in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, talking about the need for joy and nurturing the Spirit in the midst of the work we do for justice. If we are solely focused on serving the community, we can serve and serve and serve and serve until all of our energy and our life force runs dry. Justice work feels like a chore if it's not coming from the heart and if we cannot see our own joy and mutual self-interest in what we are doing. And I can see ways, too, that we could become so focused on nurturing our spirits that this place becomes insular, focused on the community and the individuals that are already here, not seeking to create a community that lives into the future. A church that only seeks to spiritually feed the souls of those present in the pews at that very moment is a church that is dying. A church that does not serve the community and engage in outreach, a church that stays in here seeking spiritual nourishment just for itself, is a church that does not have a future. I'm going to lift up an image to you. It's like Gollum in The Lord of the Rings. My precious. All the way until the precious treasure ends the life of the one who holds it tight to the chest, never seeking to share. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. And so here we are. Here we are. Seeking to live this mission to the best of our ability. Recognizing that we have not arrived at living it out perfectly, and that we may well never get to a place of perfectly living out our highest aspirations and values. But yet keeping these guiding values alive before us, ensuring that the mission stays at our core, remembering that it is important because there are lives at stake. The lives of individuals as well as the lifeblood of a community. To nurture the Spirit and serve the community. How audacious. How ambitious. What a risk. And how deeply do we have our work cut out for us, dear ones? How deeply do we have our work cut out for us? Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. I'd like to invite you now